After obtaining the gauntlets of the Crusader from the Chapel of Stendarr, a quest then updates saying, "I've completed Sir Casimir's quest by recovering the gauntlets. I should return to the Priory and find out if there is any news of the remaining 2 relics." With our quest end drawing near, we head back to the Priory and find a familiar face. Is that Sir Lathon? Looking forlorn, he approaches us bearing terrible news.
Sir Knight, thank Arkay you are back. I have terrible news. Sir Roderick, I think he's dead.
If we had not yet met Sir Roderick, this would be an appropriate response, and we could say, "Sir Roderick, who's that?"
A holy knight, like you, questing for the relics at the Prophet's call. I was his squire. I believed he was chosen by the gods to reclaim the relics.
However, as we knew Sir Roderick and admired his devotion, as he accompanied us to pray at some of the way shrines, we instead ask, what happened?
At first things were going well. He prayed at all the shrines and received a vision, a disturbing vision. The shade of Sir Beric spoke to me was all he said. We must put him to rest. We traveled back and forth across Colovia. He was always asking about an old noble family, the Vlindrels. Finally, he found what he was looking for. We went to Underpole Cave, and there he fell.
So Sir Roderick sought out Sir Beric, the member of the Knights of the Order who not only left the Order, but with bad blood. We could only guess at how Sir Roderick was lured to his demise, though we say to Sir Lathon, I'm sure he died well.
He did. I owe him my life. He faced the evil wraith of Lord Vlindrel and told me to run. And I did. I know I should have stayed with him. Perhaps together we could have destroyed that evil thing.
The wraith of Lord Vlindrel. We'll remember that name. Tell me, what was Sir Roderick looking for?
He said that Sir Beric's tomb was in Underpole Cave, which is no cave, but some kind of buried keep. He had learned that Sir Beric had once been a questing knight, like us. He had found the greaves and sword of the Crusader, but then turned to evil. Sir Roderick hoped to find the relics within Sir Beric's tomb, and he did. But we also found a terrible guardian, the wraith of Lord Vlindrel, Sir Beric.
Wait, so Sir Beric was Lord Vlindrel in life, and where he was buried he is now a wraith guarding the remaining 2 relics, the sword of the Crusader and the greaves. Tell me, do you know where these relics are now?
Yes, my lord, and I brought you. Sir Roderick shouted for me to take them. The greaves, the holy relic, they're yours.
And so Lathon hands us the greaves of the Crusader, but we realize we are still 1 relic short and say, and the sword, what happened to it?
The wraith. It used it against Sir Roderick. I don't know how that evil thing could use the holy weapon, but it did. It screamed as it struck.
We can only imagine the harrowing horror of being helpless as your master is struck down before you with a holy relic now tainted. And so we then comfort Sir Lathon saying, take it easy. You're safe now.
I'm sorry. I remember Sir Roderick saying something about the sword before we went to Underpole. It may be important. He was worried that the sword may have been turned to evil, that it may have to be reconsecrated on the altar of its creator, the divine Arkay. That's all I remember. I hope it may help you.
Well, we can worry about consecrating the sword after we deal with the wraith of Sir Vlindrel and thank Lathon, saying, you did well, Lathon.
Thank you, Sir Knight. I would ask a boon if I could, although I know I do not deserve it. Would you make me a Knight of the Nine? I want to dedicate myself to ridding the world of evil. I owe it to Sir Roderick.
Sensing Lathon's trauma has not yet subsided, we can say, not yet. I'm sorry, you're not ready.
I understand. I'll be patient. I'll stay here and train every day until you decide I'm ready. I won't give up, I swear it.
However, reconsidering upon approaching him, he'll ask,
As I said, I'll work as long as it takes to be worthy to join the Order. Am I ready to become a Knight of the Nine?
I accept. Welcome to the Order. Rise, Sir Lathon.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Knight. I will not fail you.
Now a Knight of the Order, we ask Sir Lathon more questions and say, what happened with the Greaves?
Sir Roderick died so that I could bring you the Greaves. Use them to good purpose.
Can you tell us more of Sir Roderick?
He told me to run, but I shouldn't have listened. I should have stayed and helped him. Maybe together we could have defeated this wraith.
And he was cut down by the very sword of the Crusader, designed by the Divines to face evil. How is this sword misappropriated for Vlindrel's fiendish purposes?
The wraith of Lord Vlindrel used the sword against Sir Roderick. I don't know how it twisted the holy sword to its evil purpose.
What is the significance of this Underpole Cave? I've never even heard of it before.
It's not really a cave, but seemed to be the buried ruins of an old keep. Sir Roderick believed that it used to be the ancestral seat of Lord Vlindrel before some cataclysm buried it beneath the earth.
Now knowing the location of the final Crusader's relic, Sir Lathon then requests,
Give me a moment to arm myself, and I will accompany you to Underpole Cave to destroy the foul wraith.
As the newest member of the Knights of the Crusader, it's then Sir Lathon heads down into the armory where we meet him before setting off to avenge his fallen master.
I am at your command, Sir Knight.
Before we depart for Underpole Cave, we have one final stop, and heading into the Priory's Undercroft, we see Sir Beric's fallen comrades, one of which being Sir Amiel. Informing him of the grim news of the sword, he responds,
Greetings, Sir Knight.
Unfortunately, Sir Beric has slain Sir Roderick with the Crusader's sword.
It seems that he fell further into evil than even I had feared. I have no doubt that it all began on the day that he left the Order with the sword and Greaves. Sir Caius tried to stop him. They fought, and Sir Beric slew Sir Caius with the holy sword on the Priory steps. That was the end of the old order. Many of Sir Beric's friends left with him. I tried to hold the rest together, but it was no use. If you destroy the wraith that Sir Beric has become, you will be doing him a service. You must free him from the evil that has ensnared him. May the Nine guide your way.
With renewed instructions from Sir Amiel to free Vlindrel from his ghostly prison, we finally speak to Sir Caius, who Sir Beric had struck down.
I am at your service, Commander. Alas, that the evil begun on the day of my death should have struck so deep. When Sir Beric said he would take his relics with him to war, and would not listen to Sir Amiel's pleas, I allowed my anger to get the best of me. Know that I was the one who drew weapon first against Sir Beric. He merely defended himself and proved the better swordsman. And now, because of me, evil has claimed his very soul. Walk with the Nine, Sir Knight.
With multiple grim revelations from Sir Beric's fallen comrades, we leave the Priory and meet Sir Lathon by his horse in the stable, beginning our long journey as he leads us to Underpole Cave, east of Coral, sitting just above the Orange Road. Approaching the cave, our quest update saying, I've arrived at Underpole Cave, the location of Lord Vlindrel's grave. Sir Roderick died somewhere inside, battling the foul wraith that now wields the sword of the Crusader. As we head to the entrance of the cave, unsheathing our mace, we dispatch an errant mongrel pup, and then we turn to Sir Lathon, who greets,
I am at your command, Sir Knight.
and we instruct him to follow us.
Don't worry, I'll stick close.
Entering the cave's entrance, Sir Lathon states,
This is the way Sir Roderick and I came.
Before leading the way, we cast upon him the power which the Greaves had bestowed upon us, the Blessing of the Eight, a lesser power which shields others on touch for 20% for 60 seconds. It should be noted Lathon is a non-essential character and therefore can die at any time, so shielding him and generally guarding him if you want the Wandering Knight to survive the ordeal is highly recommended. Following Lathon into the depths of the cave, the map boasts 5 sprawling zones, and as promised through the cave system, we happen upon a large underground keep. Although the map itself is vast and so is the cave network, there honestly isn't much to see outside of battling undead, necromancers, and depending on your level, vampires. So, for expediency's sake, we're going to skip to the final zone. Plumbing the depths of the final chamber, we come across a rat gnawing on a corpse by a stone sarcophagus.
For Akatosh and the 9! Yes, Commander?
After felling the fetid foe, we see it is indeed the corpse of poor Sir Roderick sprawled on the floor, and Sir Lathon gives a few words for the deceased.
Sir Roderick, you were a brave knight and good master. Long may your name be remembered in the annals of the relics.
On Sir Roderick's body we find his armor and a smithing hammer, but as we feared, no sword. Likewise, in Lord Vindrel's tomb, we similarly find his knight's armor inside of his sarcophagus, yet no sword. Turning to the nearby chest on the western wall, we locate some mort flesh and a few pieces of gold, yet moving to the southern wall, we find another corpse with a ring and bone meal. Perhaps Sir Beric's? As we turn to the southern door and open it, to our horror, we find a lone wraith with sword in hand overlooking the reflective chamber's great lake, attempting to take the phantom unawares, but a skeleton guard ambles into sight and we stealthily equip our bow to dispatch the fiend. We then sling a single arrow at Lord Beric Vindrel to no effect. Cursing ourselves, we equip the Crusader's mace, rushing to meet Vlindrel head-on in battle. His spell's corrosive touch claws into our skin through our armor, yet our shield dutifully deflects some of the damage. Remembering Lathon's words about facing the fiend together and Sir Roderick's fate, we duck back into the tomb to bottleneck the spirit. Lathon signals for us to deliver the killing blow.
Beware! Hail, Commander.
Our quest then updates saying, the wraith of Lord Vlindrel is destroyed. I need to reclaim the sword of the Crusader that he somehow twisted to his evil purpose. Once recovering said sword, which we had to reload as the first one just simply disappeared, we also then learnt that Sir Lathon doesn't carry a sword of his own and bafflingly opts instead to work Vlindrel's ghost kidneys with his fists.
Take that!
However, when our deed is succeeded, and picking up the sword, our quest updates saying, I've recovered the sword of the Crusader, but it has been desecrated by the foul wraith that wielded it. I should take it to the Chapel of Arkay in Cheydinhal to consecrate it to its holy purpose. With sword in hand, we speak to Sir Lathon for a final time, and he rejoices.
Sir Roderick is avenged, and you have recovered the sword of the Crusader. I'll return to the Priory and give my fellow knights the good news. Farewell!
And with Sir Lathon's master, Sir Roderick avenged, he leaves for the Priory of the Nine, and we are left to consecrate the once holy sword of the Crusader, if we are to stand a chance at defeating the Sorcerer King, Umaril.